what this rotation is going to look like when Bieber gets up here, if Scherzer stays healthy, and where Berrios falls, I find really fascinating because I do kind of feel like he's got to pitch his way back into the top three of this staff if he's going to be in contention to do that. Let's say they're in a wild card round, or if they end up in the DS, what's it going to look like those first three starts?
That's the big variable right now. There's not a lot of variables on the offense. It is what it is, and it's good. But Berrios right now, if you start the playoffs, is probably my number 4.
Yeah.
And that's still a good thing. He's a guy that's going to help you get to the playoffs, but helping you win in the playoffs is a bit of a different conversation. And that's the entire shift that we're having around the Blue Jays right now. You're not talking about getting invited to the dance as the third wild card, which has never excited me. It doesn't excite me this year. But it's about beating the Dodgers, beating the Brewers, beating the big dogs. And that narrows the conversation to games 1, 2, and 3. Right now, I think that's Shane Bieber and Kevin Gausman 1 and 2, and I think it's Max Scherzer in that third game.
Mm-hmm. So Bieber's your number 1, even though you haven't seen him play in the majors in a year plus.
I think he's got a damn good shot at it now, if he looks anywhere close to normal. I think Kevin Gausman can be that as well. We've seen it a couple times lately with Gausman, and then we've seen times where they lay off his splitter, and it's really tough. But Gausman has that ceiling. I don't know if we see that in Berrios right now. And again, I'm being hard on a guy who's one of the most consistent pitchers in Major League Baseball. I'm so impressed by Jose Berrios, but you need someone who can take over a game. Gausman can do that. I think Max Scherzer can still do that once or twice more, maybe at age 41. But Bieber, his last couple of outings were fantastic. He'll pitch again in 2 days in Buffalo. If he can come back normal, 95% of normal, I think he's at least the number 2 here.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Berrios, though, Keegan, the irony is, he was essentially lining up to take over a game the last time he pitched in the playoffs in the infamous, pocket
Berrios
protector
Kikuchi
spreadsheet pull of Berrios, right? And so he's got big game kind of in him, I think, and he's shown it. He just didn't get a chance to really play it to its full extent.
That was the best I've ever seen him pitch. And I'll remember for the rest of my life speaking to Berrios in the clubhouse after that game because he is the ultimate pro. He'll never say anything wrong. But he was staring a million miles into the distance over my shoulder and trying to say the right things, but you could tell that he had just imploded after being brought out of that game. The best I've ever seen him pitch because there was a little edge to it. There was a little spice to how he was pitching that day. It's his old team.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can still remember seeing Yusei Kikuchi running the door and grabbing the arm of the guy next to me saying, what the is happening?
Mm-hmm.
It's that game. If you're Berrios, no one needs motivation in the playoffs. That's a silly narrative. No one would be more motivated than Berrios if he gets a game 4. And I don't think you're going to be trying to bring guys back too quickly. There's still a game 4 space for someone if you get the ALCS. And I think that is Berrios probably at this point. We haven't seen that upside of him. Even yesterday, it's a great outing. You're putting up a 0 in the runs, but you walk 4, you strike out 3. You're needing to make big pitches in big spots, which the pessimist in me and the playoff-minded person in me says you're one pitch away from it being much different. So interesting couple months coming up for him.
Yeah, I feel like there is a very good chance if and when he starts a playoff game that he's going to be in a similar position to the one he was in Minnesota a couple years ago, where I think John Schneider, Pete Walker, Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, who we all know have a say in what's going to happen come playoff time, and I think basically on a daily basis around here, the rope will be short. The rope will be short, and there's a chance they give him the 2 times through the rotation, and then the next guy's coming out. Now, I don't know who that would necessarily be because Kikuchi's not here, and that was a righty going to a lefty, and it kind of made some sense before the game on a stat sheet, but it obviously didn't once the game played out. But it does say something about what we're going to be talking about over the next 6 to 7 weeks, where it's really uncertain what this rotation is going to look like because Bieber might be your game 1 starter. The guy's in Buffalo.
Yeah.
He's never pitched at the Rogers Center as a Blue Jay. The guy's in Buffalo. And, I think Gausman post All-Star break has looked like Kevin Gausman. Yeah. That I got a lot of time for that. He's one of my 3 guys. I don't know if he's game 1, game 2, or game 3, but Gausman's in my top 3. It's Bieber and Scherzer, which are the ultimate wild cards because of who they are, what they represent, but ultimately what they can be at their height. Now, Scherzer's not getting in a time machine and going back to 2015. You're not going to get a 7 or 8 inning gem out of Scherzer where he demands the ball for 105 pitches and shakes off the manager and says, I'm going out here, I'm going to horse this thing, and we're going to win this ball game. That's not going to happen. But outside of the home runs, which he gives up one every outing, guy looks pretty good to me. Like Scherzer looks pretty healthy. He's got pretty good stuff. He's got that aura to him. Yeah, I could see Bieber, Scherzer, Gausman being your 1, 2, 3 in some capacity, which is pretty incredible when you consider where we were, 6 weeks out from spring training, where Scherzer still hadn't signed yet, and Bieber was, recovering from Tommy John in Cleveland.
It's fascinating stuff. It really is. But I mean, there's so many unknowns, right? Like that's the fascinating thing to me is like I would love to be in some of these meetings where it's got to be a day-to-day thing with this team. Like, are we going, like, first of all, before we get to who's our top 3 in the playoffs, it's like, how do we get to the playoffs? How do we bring Shane Bieber into the fold effectively and get him up to number 1 starter speed, which is a whole thing they're going through right now, to your point. And he's what is he pitching in Buffalo tomorrow?
Friday.
Yeah. Friday in Buffalo. And, finishing up the rehab, the when he'll get here, who knows? But like, are you going to go to the 6-man rotation?
Well, Eric Lauer's sitting there saying, why do you not mention my name?
Yeah.
Ever. Like, no one's talking about Eric Lauer. And
except every time he pitches, you're like,
yeah,
this guy probably
kind of stops some bleeding for you if
Yeah.
need be. Like, he's put up good numbers. He's a lefty, which also is something that they don't have
That
right in the
matters.
rotation. I think it should.
There's a world in which they match up against a certain team that's weak against lefties and weak against his pitch profile. They get much fancier than just lefty-righty, of course. There's a world where he's considered for this as well. And then you have the ultimate variable of Trey Savage, the number 1 prospect, who is suddenly the hottest name in town.
Yes.
He's going to come up.